A crime spike over the past few months is keeping officers in Scottsbluff plenty busy. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, authorities in Scottsbluff say they've seen a significant spike in vehicle-related crimes over the past 2 months. Scottsbluff Captain Brian Wasson says in 2021, there were a total of 50 reports of thefts from automobiles, but in just the past 2 months, they've taken 20 reports. Wasson adds that there's also been 6 motor vehicle thefts in the past 2 months, tracking well ahead of the 33 total in 2021.
It's just important to, keep valuables out of view, keep them maybe in the trunk if they have to be in the vehicle or on your person, and lock your vehicle.
He says with these cold temperatures, people who leave their car running outside to warm up make it a very easy target for potential thieves. Well, a Scottsbluff man charged with 20 counts of possession of child pornography has pleaded no contest to each and every charge. 52-year-old David Schnell was arrested in November following an investigation by the Scottsbluff County Sheriff's Department. Court records show a cell phone that once belonged to Schnell had been sold, and the new owner found child pornography on it. Deputies obtained search warrants for multiple electronic devices owned by Schnell, and after a forensic search, more than 1,300 images of child pornography were found. Authorities say the images consisted mainly of juvenile females, many who looked to be less than 8 years old. Each of the 20 Class 2A felonies carries a prison sentence of up to 20 years. Sentencing has been set for March 14th in Scottsbluff County District Court. We'll have more news right after this.
The journey of a dream becoming reality. When we're young, a dream develops into a passion. That passion continues to manifest and grows as you do. It becomes all you want to do and all you want to be. It gives you direction. It drives you. Then, your dream has become a reality. When that dream is ready to be reality, Platte Valley Bank will be with you every step of the way.
Welcome back. Unified Command data is showing the number of new cases of COVID-19 has dropped significantly over the past 7 days. This week, only 415 new cases were reported, compared to 697 the previous week. Currently, there are still 28 active hospitalizations in the Panhandle and 279 confirmed deaths since the pandemic began in March of 2020. Officials say that only 43% of the Panhandle's population has been vaccinated as of Wednesday, ranking among the lowest in the entire state. Well, Governor Pete Ricketts has announced the launch of the Nebraska Homeowner Assistance Fund after the state received $50 million from the federal government to create the program. The funds were allocated to Nebraska as part of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Subject to eligibility requirements, assistance is available to Nebraska homeowners who have experienced pandemic-related financial hardship resulting in delinquent mortgage payments, unpaid property taxes, or an inability to cover homeowner insurance premiums or other related home ownership costs. Nebraskans can go to nebraskahaf.com to learn more about eligibility requirements and how to apply for assistance. And the Government, Military, and Veterans Affairs Committee on Wednesday heard testimony on a proposed constitutional amendment that would allow Nebraska voters to recall the governor and state lawmakers. If passed by the legislature, the resolution would put the question before voters in the November general election. Doug Kagan of Nebraska Taxpayers for Freedom testified in support of the measure, saying the expansion of recall options would engage more voters and would encourage elected officials to follow through on campaign promises. No one testified in opposition to the resolution, and the committee took no immediate action on it. Well, still to come, Bryce Duskett with an update on the 2022 Cattle Industry Convention in Texas, plus your weekend community calendar. KNEB.TV News will be back right after this.
Life Care promises us that we are looked after and taken care of properly. If I didn't have life care, I would be probably scared to death about having enough money for when I got older or when I got sick.
Moving in here was an easy decision and, in fact, a no-brainer. I looked at it as actually buying long-term care insurance, and in retrospect, a good move.
One of the things that convinces me that we did the right thing is no matter what happens, we will constantly be taken care of.
The whole thing is just vital because you don't have to be worried about what's ahead for you. It's there, it's in black and white, and that's reassuring.
This is home. It has been from the day I moved in.
What a year 2020 was. Now's the time to get out and travel this summer to see family and friends you were not able to see this last year. Spend more time enjoying your trip by flying United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with daily flights to and from Denver. Reserve your flight today and remember United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. And don't forget, Thrifty Car Rental is here for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and hitch a ride with your BFF, Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
Welcome to Kelly's, home of the Valley's best selection of wine, spirits, and beer. Whether you're brand loyal to the tried and true brew or really enjoy trying something different and new, Kelly's has something for everyone. Family owned and operated and right on your way on West 27th Street in Scotts Bluff. Kelly's Liquor. If you can't find it at Kelly's, it's not worth drinking.
I really like how our OB department takes our limited amount of doctors and turns it into a strength. Even though we only have a couple of people, you get to know them well over your entire pregnancy. We have 2 state-of-the-art labor rooms that are new with our last addition. We have a couple of very nice postpartum rooms also right here in the hospital so they can get as much time with mom and baby as possible.
The Evergreen Credit Card by FNBO. Earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase. Every day. Everywhere. Never worry about expiring points or category restrictions. Plus, there's no annual fee. Only from the Great Big Small Bank. A bank ever ready for you to earn more, wherever life leads. Evergreen by FNBO.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the FNBO Ag Desk. FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank.
And welcome back to Houston, which is the home of this year's Cattle Industry Convention and NCBA Trade Show. Yesterday was a big outlook as it comes to the cattle industry. A popular Cattle Facts Outlook seminar was held where several experts shared their market analysis and weather outlook. Kevin Good is Vice President of Industry Relations and an analyst at Cattle Facts. He reported that cattle prices and profitability trends for producers are pointed in the right direction.
We've got a product that's very good. Demand is as good as it's been in decades. There's plenty of dollars that are coming into the system. You know, some of the angst we've had the last couple of years as far as more of those dollars trickling down into the producer's hands, that's coming to a head here as far as more of those dollars are starting to move back into the producer's hands. And as it happens, values of cattle are moving higher.
Kevin noted any higher prices for cattle will have to help offset the increases seen in feed costs.
It's a big concern from a producer standpoint. So obviously, as we talk about better prices, we need the better prices just to hold your own as you think about increased input costs. We think prices move higher at a faster rate than some of those inflationary pressures, and therefore we do see some profitability coming back within the different segments of the business. But longer term, we've got to get used to it. I think we're in a cycle in here for the next few years at least where we're going to have more inflation, which, unfortunately takes away profitability from a producer standpoint. We've got to think about the end user. They're going to have some pressures as far as their budget, as far as where they spend their dollars too.
But all said, Kevin does expect that cattle producers will have the upper hand as it compares to packers in the future.
Absolutely. Obviously it takes time. From a cycle standpoint, we're just going to walk into smaller supplies going forward. Looking at the inventory report from this past week, it would suggest we've already liquidated 1.5 million mama cows. And if you think about that going forward, at some point you're going to have those smaller calf crops in the system. Also, from a cycle standpoint, think about cow slaughter. From the peak last year to what should be the trough in 24, 25, there's going to be 1 million to 1.5 million less there too. So you add that together, that's a big drop in supply. And we also know that you've got some packing plants they've broken ground. They'll be online by the end of this year, and you've got a bunch that are in the pipeline. Hopefully they'll come through. That might be 2 or 3 years down the road, but that combination of increased supply or shackle space will really help this situation.
That is Kevin Good with Cattle Facts. I'm Bryce Duskip reporting.
The Evergreen Credit Card by FNBO. Earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase. Every day. Everywhere. Never worry about expiring points or category restrictions. Plus, there's no annual fee. Only from the Great Big Small Bank. A bank ever ready for you to earn more, wherever life leads. Evergreen by FNBO.
Logos in Gearing is the place to get all of your school spirit gear, personalized gifts, and promotional items for your business and employees, and banners for any special event. Logos is also the only place to stop for custom screen printing or embroidery. You can even design it yourself on their interactive website. Stop into Logos today. They'll design it, print it, and have it to you in no time. There's no job too big or small for Logos. That's Logos in Gearing.
Well, let's take a peek at what's happening on your weekend community calendar. The Community Calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. First State Bank is now Riverstone Bank. Community strong with the same people you know and trust.
Find out what convenient really means at the Western Travel Terminal. Start with our great selection of food and drinks, from for real milkshakes and fresh brewed coffee to snacks and hot food. Next, check out our beer and spirits with their everyday low prices. Finally, let us work for you with our full-service gas station and automatic truck and car wash. All this can be found at 822 South Beltline in Scottsbluff. Western Travel Terminal, your convenient shopping, restaurant, and full-service gas leader.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
And finally tonight, Nebraska Tourism announcing this week grant awards totaling nearly $604,000 from the combined application cycle of the Community Impact and Tourism Marketing Grant programs. Panhandle awardees this grant cycle include the Western Nebraska Community College Foundation, the Oregon Trail Community Foundation, the City of Alliance, as well as the Dawes, Sheridan, and Scottsbluff County tourism offices. The commission received a total of 76 applications this grant cycle, requesting $1.5 million in funding. The commission's grant programs are very competitive and involve a selection committee of grant reviewers from the private and public sector, as well as citizens at large. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you back here on Monday.